in 1980, I graduated from Thatcher High School, and while I was attending Thatcher High School, my dad thought it would be very nice if I started my college classes early. They didn't have such a thing as dual enrollment, so my dad forced me to come to Eastern Arizona College as a high school senior and take college algebra and trig. And then I went to Eastern Arizona College for one semester, played in the Gila Monster Marching Band under Dr. Keith, and he was a great mentor of mine, and took science classes not really knowing what direction I was going to take. Then I went on a mission. When I returned, I was wandering the records registration area, and Vilma Motes called me over. She says, "I want to introduce you to someone." And this beautiful young lady showed up and came to the front counter, and I thought, wow, she's beautiful. She's probably somebody's wonderful wife.
Well, his story's a little different than my story, but mostly the same. Velma, going back to Vilma Motes, she says, "Oh my goodness, there's Phil McBride. He just returned from his mission. He has the most baby face I have ever seen on another person. You have to meet him." So she called him over. And then after he left, she's like, "Isn't it true? Doesn't he have the most baby face of anybody you've ever seen?" So that was the main reason for her calling him over. It wasn't to really introduce me to him, but just so that I could see who he was and see his face.
But then I saw this beautiful young lady again in an institute class. And the problem was she was sitting on the front row, and me, I was sitting on the back row. It took me at least 5 weeks to gradually wander myself from the back row to the front row until I sat by her. And then I would conveniently forget my books so that we could share.
Phil never forgets anything. He's always prepared, always on time, always early. And so when he started forgetting his book and we had to put our chairs together, that was my first telltale sign that he might like me.
6 months later, I actually went out on a date with her. She finally said yes. And I was playing in the band, and we were playing for a basketball game. And so she was there by me, and the trombone player who sits behind us in the stands told her to come and sit by them because it would be too loud by me.
I didn't know anything about music. Figured that was true and that my ears would be damaged if I didn't move. The first time he asked me on a date, he was so nice and so kind that I couldn't say no. I spent a lot of hours in the orchestra pit after that because I didn't play an instrument, but I followed him around he played in all the plays. He was down in the orchestra pit and he would drag me down there with him, and it was really fun spending time with him in the pit.
Then she graduated in 1984, in May of 1984. We were married October of 1984, and then we moved to Snowflake for 3 years, and where I coached football and taught physics and math and chemistry. I got the notice that Eastern Arizona College had a chemistry position opening. And so I applied, and not really thinking that I would get it, and then they called and they offered me the job. But we came here and I was able to teach with my dad from 1991 to 1997. And I taught chemistry in this lab room right here, and my dad taught chemistry in the lab room next door. But it was a great opportunity for me to teach chemistry with my dad for those 6 years. Probably the best 6 years of my career here was being able to teach with him, because he was my mentor, my father, a great example to me. Ralph Ward Jr. asked Paula if she would teach a scrapbooking class.
And I said, "Do you think anybody would sign up for it?" And he says, "Definitely." He says, I have people coming in and wanting to learn and take scrapbooking. We just had a blast. We have a blast at scrapbooking, and it has been such a fun opportunity for me.
One of the best things was I arranged it because I was the division chair at the time, so that she was teaching in the classroom directly opposite my lab. So we were able to see each other during the day. We've had all 4 of our children have attended Eastern Arizona College, but all 4 of them have graduated from Eastern Arizona College. Paula graduated. I attended Eastern Arizona College. My father and mother attended Eastern Arizona College, and my grandfather attended Eastern Arizona College. So we have 4 generations of Eastern Arizona College in our blood.
We are Phil and Paula McBride fighting. Isn't it fighting?
And we are.
We are Phil and Paula McBride, and we are fighting Gila monsters.